Thank you for coming. It's hard to speak about Selma of blessed memory without mentioning her other half, Nathan. They found each other, as Rose said, in the displaced persons camp in Austria. And together they had nothing but love and a desire to build a family in a world where Jews would be persecuted. They moved, as Rose said, they moved to America, and it was very important for them to settle in a Jewish area where they could continue the traditions of their family. They lived through terrible times during the war as Holocaust survivors. Most of us have read about it, but only a few could imagine what they had to go through. Despite the horrors, they carried on and built a better life. I often said to Bernie that I married him for his family. His parents were wonderful to me. I truly loved my mother-in-law. No joke, no terrible stories. She was always there for her family with unconditional love. Once, when a house next to her went on the market, I told a friend that I would love to live there. They couldn't believe that I would want to live next to my in-laws. I said, then you don't know them. When I was expecting Stephen, and we were in between houses, we were staying with them. And even though Selma had to wake up early the next day to drive to New York for a close family wedding, I went into labor Saturday night, and she stayed with me all night, rubbing my back and talking to me. Once, when she was in the hospital, the doctors asked the general questions to her. Do you know where you are? Do you know what year it is? Who's the president? How many children do you have? And she answered 4. And someone corrected her. No, there's 3. But she said, no, there's Rose, Anna, Bernie, and Lucy. It meant the world to me. I always told my children how lucky they were to grow up so close to their Bubby and Zadie. Most kids only saw their grandparents on holidays, vacation, but they saw them all the time. They helped us take care of Stephen, Mark, and Adam. They picked them up from school. They babysat. No matter what time of day, if you stopped by, you would, and Selma found out, Mom found out that you were hungry. Even though it was an unplanned meal, she could pull a brisket, vegetables, dessert out ready on the table like a magician. All the grandchildren and great-grandchildren had a special bond with her. She knew what their favorite cakes were, and she made them from scratch. She taught them how to bake and cook, but nothing could taste as good as her own food. You hated to give her any bad news because it always affected her. If she heard that one of the kids were sick, she would appear with a pot of chicken soup. She was an inspiration to all of us who knew her, and the very definition of a loving mother and Bubby. She was loved by everyone who met her and treasured so much by her family, who will deeply miss her as much as they deeply loved her. She leaves behind her friends and family as better people for having known her.